Well, hello there, welcome back to IVATOPIA's Let's Play of Tyranny, or Tyranny, however you say it. It's episode 26. Okay. Last time, if I remember correctly, we kicked that woman off. And now I believe we're going in and heading out. This looks like it's going to be coming to the base, like this highlighted, like it's going to be for chapters maybe. I'm not 100% sure.
On it.
Okay. On close inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of the ancient Assassin Hall moments before you found yourself transported above. In the inner sanctum of the old citadel, built at the geographical centre of Vindarin's Well. It was here that the Vindarin Guard signed the surrender 429. Okay. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind adapts. Abat, I guess it's adapts would be D on it. Abat, and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming. Your lungs sated at last. I'll be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies we don't understand. Lanty holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. Basically, the portal you're about to walk through turned itself off, so we're trying to work out how to get it down. You staked your claim on the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. Thank you. Feel dizzy? Do you feel dizzy? Baraka messages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. So he's feeling dizzy. Oh, massages the brow of his helm, sorry. Massages, not masses, whatever I said before. Causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across this. Oh yeah, because he's got full armour. What is this thing? Touch the sculpture. Why not? The stone is smooth and cool to touch. Marbling patterns move from the curves of the sculpture, looking more akin to veins than imperfections of rock. You can't find a single marking to suggest an arson's tool. As you are about to draw your finger away, you feel a sudden return pressure on your fingertip as the sculpture touches you back. Okay? Don't get off handsy with me, boy. Huh? Calm it down, it's sculpture. Sculpture is once again still. There is a rush of warmth through your body, a jolt of, envenenation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactical sensations floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveller, but as one glimpsing the world from possibility far away. In this moment, there is nothing you cannot see, though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, with two worlds extending off into the distance. At the base of this internal spire, settlers and merchants acting every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky towards you. Though you haven't seen it in person, you are certain this is a vision of Lithin's Crossing. What's Lithin's Crossing again? Built in the shadow of an old world's junction in the realm of not heaven, is it? Haven? Heaven? Heaven's an E in it, so Haven, maybe? Lithin's Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich in iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt the forge and elements. In the years following Carrants, right click. What's the spot? The forge element. In the years following Karen's conquest of the Tiers, the population of Living Crossing swelled with refugees fleeing destruction of their homelands. The pressure of the forge bound mining the iron along with their guards makes this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Karen's armies. Interesting. For nowhere else are the Tiersmen brave or desperate enough to settle at the intersection of bane-ridden oddworlds. Near this settlement, built at the joining of the ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive mastery, a cleft into the forbidden, hidden realm within the Oddworlds. Drift close to the spear, drift into the Oddworld's entrance. Ah, Tracy's. So what else? So near the settlements built at the joining ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive mastery, a cliff into the forbidden, hidden realm within the Oddworlds. Drift close to the spear, drift into the Oddworld entrance. Spear. Spear feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiant arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone. A branch withering once pulled from its tree, it reaches for you with a barely perceivable tug. Drift into the Oddworld entrance. I'm going to do both. Yeah, nice, that's what I wanted. Shadows envelope you, muting all sounds and vision with slight delay. There is a feeling of pervision, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Fingers haunt the stone halls, drifting in emanations of cloud, claw and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor. Through the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon. Though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Vanden's well. So back here. You return to the awareness of your intimate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteadily on your feet. The link between you and the spear recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies for the moment are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fracture. It's unclear wherever the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. Alright, good. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the position of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spear, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above the distant surroundings. So, it's my question to get all these spires, sorry. That looks real, that looks like a big ashtray, doesn't it? Someone's put some cigarettes out in it. Very interesting. So it's either weakening me or make me stronger, these are. Did you sense that? Lanty sighs, a long signal in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. I don't think it's catnip, is it? What's his catnip? He gets a little high at his catnip because he's a cat, really. The ripples are everywhere. When you move, the magic of this place stirs and churns. The portal over there, those burning... oh, it's back on. I just realised, yeah. Braziers, they all grow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Karen's edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Speak with me after you see Tyranny, Fatebinder. The disfavored need to be shown their place. If a dog acts up, you use a firm hand to put it back down. If we are to succeed in the tiers, we must work quickly. I will be waiting. See you, Fifth Eye. Interact with the spirit device. Done. Investigate the spear. Not done. Find a way to deliver this crushing spear. Can I do anything else with this? Sculpture doesn't respond to your touch. I guess it's just here now. There's nothing else around here I need to do. Talk to you guys. No. Stares at you through narrow eye slits, saying nothing at all. The only evidence that he still lives is a stem of heavy exhales that escapes the cracks of his helmet. You okay in there, Barrack? Alright now. Continues to stare unmoving. Though you can't see his face, you get the impression that his mood has darkened even further. The stench that his armor exudes has intensified. Are you mad about something? Bart, did you die under there? Poke him. Barker grabs your extended finger before you even get close. At first you think he's going to snap your hand in half, but he releases it with a heavy sigh.
You betrayed Graven Ash, the Legion, and our northern countrymen. As far as I'm concerned, you are a traitor to this campaign.
Barker leans in close, looking ready to throttle you. Voices of Naga made a better case accepted. It was my right as Tunton's Fatebinder to choose a side. punch Brock in the gut. First connects with his armor with a hard clang. Barker looks down at you with as much confusion as disapproval.
I don't know what you expected would happen, but I'm only too pleased to disappoint you.
So shaking his head.
Let us be clear on one point. You have my blade, but my heart belongs to Ash and the North.
Wow.
I am a weapon bound to you only by duty. Nothing more.
Wow. I guess when it's high like this, they've got something good to say. Otherwise, it's just normal.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it.
You're not really doing that?
All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. For the moment, the Scarlet Chorus could be considered an ally. Let us hope the Archon of Secrets continues to find you entertaining enough to remain friends. The Disfavored, on the other hand, will be a certain threat. The Civil War has removed Ash's pretense to play well with others.
Apparently.
So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
I'll hunt with the Scarlet Cannons for so long as it suits my purpose. I'll work with the Scarlets. I have my own little corner of the tiers now. My plans are entirely my own. I'm a servant of Archon's justice. That must not have changed.
Your plans are your own, until they plunge the rest of us into misfortune. But I shall not try, not now, at least. Know that your actions at Vendrian's Well have earned you the attention of the Tiers. Your reputation will attract opportunity and disaster, likely in uneven measures. Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Let's see him try. No, now let's get going. Have you heard of edicts being broken before? Have a moment, let's talk further. That one.
Most of Kairos's edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Golbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380. In all these stories, Kairos's edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
That's what I do. And now let's get going. Let's talk further. So what's on your mind? Did you want to discuss matters of the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? Let's discuss current matters. I have some questions for you.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
Know more about you. Hi, Karam's lawyer. Me, well, fine, but I'm not very fascinating subject. I study interesting people enough to know I'm not one of them. What's your story? Tell me the origin of Atlanti. Someday, someone half your age will ask you to sum up your life, and you realise what an oddest request I did. Well, where to start? I grew up in Sundra. I was born right after the independence from the realm of Stalwart. So yeah, do the math and you'll realise I'm old. My parents, to tell you that. That ended with the film stimulation that Sundra chose to leave, and the Stolen did not lose a civil war. The free city of Sundra makes 347 TR as its year of independence. He's pretty spy for 84. Nice. My parents were harbour hands. My mother never returned from a voyage. My father lost his hand to infection and decided to sell me to the school of ink and quills. So when they sold you, how much were you worth? You have gained fear. 3 bronze rings also, I remember. Not that the sum is burned into my mind or anything. As a novice, I was assigned to the Devocarts, where I learned how to raise and groom birds to carry messages. I guess like messages, I guess. Most of my early tombs are on that subject. 10 years and several tombs later, someone decided I was ready to be welcomed into the inner circle and shown the ways of magic. And since then I spent a great deal of time in field study, which I suppose readied me for life after the fall of Citadel. Well, as much as anything could ready one for the strangest of these days. You were born lander, or did you take that name on joining the school of Ink and Quill? Most sages take a new name when they join the school, but for me, the transition was difficult at first. I stuck to my old common name, and then just never got around to picking some high, faulted name like Sage, Upperhass, or Sage Dangling Precipitate. Is this your true skin? Did you always want to be a sage? I cannot imagine doing anything different. I suppose it's in my youngest days, I yearned for battle and glory like most boys I knew. Having not seen how short a soldier's life can be, I look back at the old calling, that old mindset, and laugh. So really, what's your story? Not. What do you mean? I know you're smarter than you act. Extend me the same courtesy. You gain 10 subterfuge skill experience. Strokes his beard, leaving flecks of whatever among his white whiskers. I was on the take from the voice of Negrat, or at least an agent of his sent me to the school of Ink and Quill 30 years back. It'll be years later until I made a connection to Agran. Most people think the war began 3 years ago, but the voices of Negran had his hands in things sooner than that. I was part of that early invasion, an eager kid happy to accept a 30-year assignment that comes with an education. What else aren't you telling me? So you're advocating surrender to Carus was the end of your long plan? More secrets understood. I'm dreadfully unamused by this. Let's speak something else. What else are you not telling me? Well, I should admit I might have been taking an interest in your history since I learned about your proclamation of Edict of Storms. In truth, I'm deeply curious about any who have lived as vessels to Carus' most supreme magic. When I heard you were proclaiming a second edict, I had to find a way for us to meet. Being tied up in a prison camp was not the intended plan. Surrender to Carus was the end of your long plan. Yes and no. When I first left, I was just happy to be getting educated by the sages on someone else's rings, and my orders were simply to listen and report. As the time drew near, my commands were to win them over a little at a time to the notion of surrender. You were telling me no more secrets understood. Getting low to women. I will endeavour to earn your trust as best I can. Sorry to have given you reason for doubt. Speak something else. That's enough, let's be going. Something else. How do you feel about Carus? Actually, before I say that, I should end this episode. So like, subscribe, and good stuff. Tune next week and we'll find out his feelings about Carus. And then hopefully we finish talking to him and then finish with her, and then we finally go through the portal and carry on. So like, subscribe, and good stuff. This is I've bye for now. Have a good day out there. Bye everyone. Bye bye.